So Jackson, do you have the Jazz at 14?
Nope,
You
I
do
do
not.
not.
Okay. I'm
Nope.
gonna make a prediction. I'm gonna make a prediction here. I'm gonna guess who you have at 14 because I
The
think I have an
Houston
idea.
Rockets.
I
I
think
told you.
I think you have the Golden State Warriors at 14. Is that correct?
My man can read my mind. I
You
have
do
the
have
Golden
the. Oh, Dallas
Dallas
does
does
not
not.
like
Dallas
that
did not
pick.
like that. That was a terrible. That was a terrible
No,
pick.
but listen. Okay, I think Steph Curry is what? He's what? 36 years old now, an injury-prone player. Steph Curry gets injured in the regular season a lot, and Nick, what are you making that face for? Look at his games played year by
All right.
year. Steph
Okay.
Curry's an injury-prone player in the regular season. I think if Steph Curry goes down for a 2-month period, I think they start to think about that, their future. They're getting that top 5 pick. So, and I think, I mean, if they're not that good, what is that? You're a clown. No, but like, think about it. If Steph Curry goes down, what does this team have to play for? They don't have anything to play for. And if he's out for a while, who's to say they're not just going to sit him the rest of the year or put him on a minutes restriction the rest of the year? Because then you play for that top 5 pick. And if you get that top 5 pick, he's another guy. He's another face of your franchise like Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry's old. You got to start looking for that face of the franchise replacement at this point. Because it's not going to be Kuminga. They've already shown that they don't want him to be their face of their franchise because they're not giving him that max contract yet. They
Okay,
have
so
pods, they have all,
you want to hear about his
You can go-
longevity and his when he's on the court? In 15 years, he's played less than 50 games twice. And
Wow,
one
very
season,
Okay.
injury prone.
one season he played 5 games, and one season he played 26. So he was, definitely injured during those seasons. But other than that, he's had one season at 51, and the season before last was at 56. Every other season has been above 65, 67, 68.
yeah, but before that, they had people that they could plug in and sell games. I don't think they have that. I think now if he goes down, I think they're trying to develop people.
I think
'Cause they
that's a
don't have
fair.
that.
That's a very fair prediction that the Warriors could go in this direction because I don't.
Thank you.
Me personally, I'll be very surprised if any of us have the Golden State Warriors making the play-in tournament because of how stacked the Western Conference is. Oh, Nick does. Okay.
Nick.
But I think
That's
when you
until
see
you-
when you see a
my
lot
rankings
of when you see a lot of people that make their predictions, a lot of people are going to have the Warriors out of the picture because of how loaded the Western Conference is. Because it is just tough for them. It is tough with them being so like heavily dependent on Steph Curry. We talked about in the team preview how past Steph Curry, who's their second best player right now? It's Jonathan Kuminga, but we don't even know if he's a guaranteed starter. So it's tough for the Warriors because if in this load of a Western Conference, you can't afford even 15 games lost from Steph Curry. You just can't. So if they get off to a rough start in the season, I would not be surprised if the Warriors do what Jackson alluded to and say, you know what, let's do what we did in 2020. Let's sit you for the season. Not even sit you. He was injured, but let's have you rest for the season. Let's try to get a top pick in this loaded draft class and try to get back in the, swing of things next year. We could have Kuminga develop more. Maybe he could, increase his numbers a little bit more. So personally, I know, jumping the gun a little bit, I have the Warriors at 13. I have them pretty low as well because I just think that'd be the smart way to do it for the Warriors going forward. Because regardless of if any of us have them making the postseason or not, they're not winning a championship this season. I'm counting them out to winning a championship. So that you should take
I'm
this
counting them out to
season.
make the playoffs.
I probably am too. So I would take this season to, obviously play Steph Curry. Obviously, you just may not be able to have the talent at the end of games. Like if you trap Steph Curry, it's not like you have a Klay Thompson anymore. You do have Buddy Hield. They did add some solid role players this offseason. I will say that, but I don't know if they have the talent to, compete with those other teams up there.
I'll make my case when we get there.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it. So
I have the Warriors here at 12. I think they're kind of in that what you were talking about before, like Kobe's last days with the with the Lakers, and I feel like it's like Steph with the Warriors. Like they want to get every little bit of basketball out of Steph, so they're going to try to be competitive. So I don't think they're going to be far out of the play-in. I think the 12th and 11th and 10th team and the 9th team, I would say, are all going to be very close this year. But I think the Warriors just kind of miss out. Even though they're at 12, I think they're still going to want to try to get every last bit of chance out of Steph they can. I think they're that stubborn. I agree that they should possibly look to the future because I don't want the same thing that happened to Kobe happen to Steph. I think you could turn it around much quicker if you just kind of tank for a year or two, and then for the last 2 years maybe go off. But like, I don't see that happening yet.
I will say this. So I have Golden State at 13, as I talked about before, and this is because kind of predicting injuries, which is not the best thing to do. But if I did this differently and did like a power ranking of how I would rank all these teams healthy right now, Golden State would probably be 11 and the Rockets would be 12 if I ranked them like that. But projecting injury, I'm trying to do that because last year, I feel like the Warriors could be last year's Grizzlies, where they, could be good, but then, they get injured and they fall down. And that's not the best way to go about it. But I think Golden State, looking at their roster right now, because they have Steph Curry and they have, the clutch player of the year, the greatest shooter of all time, they would rank over the Rockets regularly.
They added Buddy Hield. They added Melton, who's a great defender, a point of attack guy that Steph doesn't have to be guarding the best player on the court no more. They added Kyle Anderson, who can like bring the ball up and be a floor general. I think that they got better. I mean, they cut Clay loose, I think is a fair way to say it, because he was coming off the bench at the end of the year and not really like looking like himself. I'm hoping that he is able to refine himself in Dallas next to Kyrie and Luka, but I think the power rankings thing is a good argument, and that's kind of how I did my list. Is more of a power rankings than a prediction because I'm not one to speculate about injuries.
Nick, what's your number 9 seed?
I swear I put the Warriors.
Golden State Warriors. I don't think that's crazy at all either. If they could definitely finish here, if Steph Curry is, playing a lot of games.
Yo.
I don't hate it either.